ours this year going.
Out the window.
Out the window, yes.
I move that we accept those minutes.
Okay,
Second.
okay. I think we're all in favor. It's pretty easy tonight, so.
Yeah.
I want to thank our distinguished mayor for being here tonight and for the media for being here. Thank you for joining us. Hal, oral and written communications. I better get the signing here.
Yeah. Like I say, as far as that, the balance, everything's fine. Like I say, we just keep watching the percentages, which we're gonna talk a little bit more about it here, a bit about bodies to cremains. Fund-wise, money-wise, we're pretty well on pace of what we normally are. I'll be getting with the mayor here before long to see about changing prices. It's about that time to look at it, to see if we want to do that or not. So, but right now, we're maintaining pretty much what we were last year, so we're okay. I have no other comments on that. Do we go into old business?
Yep.
Okay, two things in old business. The stonework in the front has been completed by Mike Bradford. It is finished. Not too many challenges. I thought there was going to be quite a few, not knowing all the lay of land, what was underneath. We actually got the bushes out and dug it down deep for him, which was kind of in his contract to do. We had some conduit to fix. The electricians at wastewater came out and helped me with that, and to get that lowered and ready for Mike. So it went pretty well with Mike as far as what we had to do, and a little changing on design, and had to build a few things around some stuff, but overall the project went really well. You need to go by. It's just, it just,
awesome.
Really nice.
you know, some people may call it bland, but it just looks beautiful. I mean, it just looks clean. It really does.
It's very welcoming.
Don't know, I got I set the light post, I did it with the ground that was there, and if you notice, one post sticks up a little bit, the concrete showed. We're gonna paint that black. Don't know what I'm gonna put out there right now. I'll just be quite honest with you. It looks so nice. I don't know flower beds, if that's something we wanna do or not. Something I'm looking at, and I don't think, well, there'll be a little money in the good benches like I put in cremation too. During this project, I took up 2 of the park benches, and I took them out for Mike and his crew just so they had some place to sit and eat, you know, under the shade trees right outside. They were used quite a bit besides that. Some from Courts of Colfax, they come down and walk in because of the new sidewalks, different stuff. In the evening, I'd go by and see people in there. So I'm thinking of maybe pouring a pad in between the trees, not on that property, but in between the trees behind the other side of the fence, and putting a bench or 2, just for people to sit. It seems like it's something that we use. We've taken them away now, just to clean that up, you know, to get everything done in there. But it's just something I'm looking at. So I'll get monies together and figure out when and if I can, and I may order a bench or 2 and put back in the shade instead of putting out in the sun. Doesn't make sense.
No.
Okay, it just doesn't. I mean, but back in the shade, people walk this all the time, and they walk down that sidewalk, so why not give them a bench to rest? The other ones in cremation too are used all the time, which is really nice. They look out over the lake, and people like to sit there. And so I don't think spending the money on a bench and us pouring a little concrete is going to be a whole lot, but I think it would just be a nice service, if you want to say, to there. So you may see that in the future. Number 2 is there. I think we talked a little bit about it. I got 17 trees from Jurgen Boss. He gave us a great deal on them for the police department, and we lined their parking lot. So we took the hoe over. Last time we planted trees, they didn't make it too much, kind of gravelly ground. So we went over and actually Howard Keister, myself, one of my employees, we dug 3-foot by 3-foot holes, and the guys are behind us, and Dustin brought us a bunch of clean dirt, and we put a lot of clean black dirt underneath, set the trees, and then, so these trees got room to grow. It's not in that hard packed stuff, so we should be okay. I took 17 buckets, some older ones I had, drilled some holes in them, we tied them to the base of the tree, we mulched them and everything, and can't even tell you, the janitor over there, which used to be our fuel guy, nice guy, he has time and he's gonna fill them up, and then he has my number if he can't do it. Huh, James? Thank you. I couldn't think of his name. So we could have bought the bags that you put around them, and they're $60 a bag. I had buckets, so it was a lot cheaper to put them, and what he'll do is I gave them a tank to put in their gator, and so he'll go gravity feed and fill those up every other day, and they'll just trickle in, keep them nice and wet.
Are they maple trees?
Some are. They're
Yeah.
different variety, but mostly maple.
Yeah.
And these were,
They'll grow fast.
well, I'll just be honest with you, these are about 2.5 to 3 inch diameter, I believe, kind of like that here, and Jurgen charges us $200 a tree. So
Yeah.
all the police department has in it is the cost of the trees
Sure,
to get them in.
good.
And of course, Scott's never happy, so he wants some more, but we'll do that later. Yeah, and I gotta put a couple more flowery bushes up by his office, but that's okay. Yeah, no problem, we don't mind doing it at all. So with that, also you understand with that dirt too, there was some low areas and bad areas that we seeded around there just to fix it up and keep it going. And then I believe, once Finn and Brown is done with their project, which I believe they're doing a wonderful job on the sidewalk project, they have to haul all that dirt away. They're gonna leave it for me, and well, Dustin made it, because Dustin knows I want it, and we will take it to the back and turn it and make top dirt out of it. We'll just keep turning, make top dirt, and save us some money. It's quite a bit. Or Dustin brought in a machine that'll cut it all up for his, and I'll see how much that is, and I may do that to create good top dirt, and then we put it in what we call the back 40, and then the park and I will use it, or anybody can use it. We'll have free top dirt for quite a while. So it's, like I say, I think I told you, I bought one tandem axle load, it was like $500 some, so it's gonna save us some money, because we're always using dirt to fill in and fix stuff. So anyway, that's kind of in the old business. Going into new business, please stop me if I'm talking too fast or you have a question, because I do that a lot. As you see, the first one's a power washer. We do a lot of power washing and cleaning, and I kind of makeshift a trailer to do this in a tank. I'm having a power washer trailer built. It's EF Rhodes and Sons in Pierceton. So they are gonna make me a trailer. We have the trailer, I got them the containers, you know me, I'm always bargaining. So the big plastic tanks you see on some of the bigger trucks, he said have gone outrageous in price. So these, I don't know what to call them, portable tanks, they're metal and has chemical in it. Wastewater has a ton of them and they can't get rid of them. He goes, that's what I'm using. I went, it is. Well, let me bring you some. So I brought them, and we worked out a deal and helped with the cost a little bit. So he could get that down. So he's gonna make it with that. But it'll be nice. We'll have to pull it with the truck, but it'll have, I don't know what you call it. I call it the sidewalk cleaner, the scrubber. I bought one of those too. So basically, it'll be ready to go. Any department needs to go do their sidewalks, different stuff. It's gonna be all one unit, ready to go. It'll have dual tanks on it, so it'll be 600 gallons. It'll be sitting on it for us of water that will fill with the well. So I'm anxious about that. I think it's a good tool for us to have. And you can pop it off in the water with it also. I wanted to be dual service there. So hopefully, he was hoping to get all the parts in by the end of this week and then start on it, get it all put together. So I don't think it'll take too long. With that, the EF Rhodes and Sons also are the owners of Cottage Watchman. Back when Joe was here and stuff, and they were doing the assess on the security and all the buildings, we didn't get missed. I just was miscommunication. They were doing some stuff here I didn't know about. They came today and they're going to give me a quote. I'm going to put a magnetic lock on the front door. So basically, Leanne has cameras on her. She's kind of back in the back. I have cameras all around the office, so she can see people driving up. And if there's somebody that she's a little worried about, she can hit a button and it'll lock that door. Okay, it's just a safety net for her, is what I wanted. We talked about it before. They did it to off. I think you guys have it in your office, and we just, no, nothing wrong. We just got bypassed somehow, or I missed it, or whatever. So while I was up there, I got to talk to the guy, and the sales rep came in today, and he's going to give me a price, and I think I have the money for it, or whatever. We'll see when we get it. But so just so you know, that's going to be, it was part of that assessment program when we did it. Knock on wood, not too many problems, but we deal with a lot of emotions. We have kind of words you can say. Jeff's mom and I had it, Leanne and I have it too. The other day, I was back at the shop, and I got the, oh, are you in the cemetery? Which she says a lot. And I said, and we said some stuff. There was a gentleman up, there happened to be a funeral. The military was getting ready to fire, and he just kind of was up at the office, and Leanne talked to him, and he said, this just bugs me, and she just wasn't feeling real comfortable. So I shot up, said hello to the guy, said in the thing. He was fine, nothing happened. We found out he was ex-military and firing the guns, and you know what that's all about. So, but it was just, we have little caution things we can do, and she knows to call me ASAP, and I'm coming. And we don't do it very often, but if something major happened or whatever, I just told her to run in the garage, don't worry about raising the garage door, jump in that car and drive through the garage door and get out of there. I just don't want her in there. And you never know. I mean, you know how today is, and it was part of the assessment. So this is something that was on my bucket list, so I want to get done. So this way she'll have some more time, we get that on there. I guess that was it. I just wanted to add that on. Two is what I did with this dirt that we're getting from there. I bought what they call a rock bucket from Bobcat. It goes on my skid steer. It's open web and it'll sort. We can sort a lot of that, clean the dirt out, and then let the other stuff ferment and whatever to work on it. So it's something we'll use. Adding on to that with Mike, this fall we're going to do another project. I was assessing stuff. I have some concrete work we need to do, but I was up at the heart. Okay, the long walkway that goes into it, and the sidewalk is shifting. Okay, so I have some trip points that I don't, it's a matter of replacing, or what do I do? This paver stuff he does, and like he did at the preacher stand, looks so nice. We had some block, and so we looked, and with what he overfigured here, I have enough block. So I'm basically gonna pay him labor. We're gonna tear out all the concrete, and he's gonna make that a paver walkway into the heart. I think it'll just make that look a lot nicer. And it has to be done anyway, so instead of concrete, we're gonna do that. So that'll be this fall. As you can see in 4, we currently have another 28 foundations ready to go. Due date is coming Wednesday to pour. So we're gonna pour for that this week. So that'll be our 3rd pour, I believe? Yes. Last that I had, 2 things. One, before we get to the 5, I want to throw in there, Leanne and I set today, the niches are getting, columbariums of the niches that we put in, and what we're averaging, what we have left is about 2 years. So I'm going to go down to Pat and kind of get a rough quote and start figuring out how to put some more niches in with these ash burials. The niche is really a pretty good way to go. By the time you buy a stone and everything, what we sell them for is pretty comparable, is actually a little cheaper. So people are using the niches, and I'm going to run out here probably in 2 years. And with that and the raise, I'm going to have to extend cremation 3 or make another one. So that's kind of top priority to look at here moving forward here in the years. The last thing I have is, y'all know about the storm and with all the city and everything, and we did have quite a bit of damage. It took the guys probably a week. We got it all taken care of, and a little help from the street department getting the big one off the stone. They came with a big clam to help us out just to hold it while we cut it up and got it off and hauled the big stump away. So, like I say, it was about, I'm going to say anywhere from 40 to 50 loads, 1-ton loads that we took to the back. That was a mess that we had and clean up. So kudos to the guys. They were great. Opened up a little overtime, so we would clean during the day. I have a guy mowing, a couple would stay and mow. And actually, today we're ahead of schedule, so the cemetery looks beautiful. They've got it up, weed whacked, all cleaned up. We're just cleaning up and doing some other projects. So it was just a little bit of glitch, but not much. And we were hit with quite a few funerals too, so last week. So anyway, so we're back to pretty much normal, if you want to call us normal. But anyway, so basically in a nutshell, that's kind of what we got going on and coming up. Of course, we'll have the meeting after this about the walking tour. Getting a lot of good vibes from that. And I think I gave you the cards that had the QR code on it. I ordered another 500. We've been people love it because they can go right to that site and head off. So ours are, the other ones I'm not handing out if I could talk to the tour for the Historical Society and the walking tour. But Ken can help me here. We pretty much have everything in place. We're just wrapping up a few details, and I think we'll be ready to go. So, yeah.
It's
And I
looking
think
really good.
I told them too. I got a phone call from a lady that wanted to know the times of stuff, and she has family from California that are flying into, or going to make a weekend out of it, come to this walking tour, and got a couple other ones from out of town. So I'm hoping it turns out pretty good, and we'll see. And then they're off to the next selection for the next one. So we'll evaluate and then see when we want to do the next one or how many we want to do. So other than that, I don't have anything else unless you have questions. Yes, sir.
I have, I never thought I'd get many questions being on the cemetery board, but I had a concerned citizen come up to me and talk to me and said, "Are you on the cemetery board?" I go, "Yes, I am." And he said, well, there's some graves, and I do not know what they're talking about, because, that I've seen, that are kind of unattended. There's weeds and there's all that kind of stuff around. He goes, who takes care of those if there's no one there to do that? And I said, well, Alan and the crew do a lot of stuff. I mean, our parks look beautiful out there, so they didn't get specific with me, but, I mean, it's pretty much standard procedure. If you guys see a weed or whatever, right? I mean.
Yeah, I would love for you to go out right now. You're not gonna see it. I mean, but if they ask, we will get to them. If there's a problem at their family, please come and get us.
Yeah, okay.
And I'll share an example. But you understand, it's 100 acres.
Sure. Oh,
And
yeah.
so we can't come in Monday and get it all done.
No,
Follow me?
no.
So it's a process as we do it.
And it
But by
wasn't
the-
a complaint, it was a question.
Yeah, and by the end of the week, well, and they don't have to take care of it. Here's a perfect example. A lady came in, very nice, didn't think the grass was very nice at her mom and dad's grave, looked like it was going over. And with this dry spell, you understand, these vaults are only 2 foot down. You get enough heat, it'll try to burn them out,
Oh, yeah.
and they'll fade in and out a little bit, you know, get some rain. But anyway, so I went and looked, grass wasn't bad, it was a little spotty. So we just threw some dirt, I call it overseeding, and filled it in the areas and threw some more seed and threw a little straw and water down so it'll fill out more.
Yeah, yeah,
Don't mind doing it at all.
right.
Weeds, I would, yeah, please come get me if we
Okay.
miss something, yeah.
Well, I'll
but no,
point that out, I'll touch
yeah.
base back with them, yeah. so-
I mean, honestly, it usually takes a week, and today, I have 2 part-time left. One is already getting ready to head back to school. We weren't weed whacking today, we were doing roads, but,
Yeah,
you know, yeah, it's all done. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
if they ever do, please tell them, come get me.
I
Or
will.
Leanne's in there, she knows where I am, and she makes lists and stuff, and I'll go. I've got a couple stones that are moving, that I'm probably gonna have to fix. What happens is when it was real wet, and there was some foundations we did, we interrupted the soil.
Yeah.
So the one, it's a stone, and it's gone. So I'll have to get the stone off, try to lift it up, or not, I'll pour a new foundation. Yeah, so,
Yeah.
yeah, all they have to do is let us know.
Okay.
Be glad to
Yeah,
if there's something they
great. I
see.
appreciate that. I
Yeah.
told them that I'm pretty sure it'll be taken care of.
Yeah, if it isn't already, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna, we're not perfect if we
No,
miss
no.
something or whatever.
Our parks are, that park's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It's all because of you and your crew, no question.
Yeah, so like I say, that would be hard to, but it could happen. I
Sure.
mean,
Well,
yeah, she's welcome to stop in or email me,
Yeah,
either
okay.
way. I mean,
Alright.
give her my email address, whatever, and we'll make sure we get on it,
Yep.
if there's something.
no
But yeah,
problem. Thank you.
it is time sensitive, and sometimes, I told Leanne the other day, you know, sometimes I said, are we making this look too good? Because some of the questions we get, I'm joking, but
No,
whatever,
no.
but I had one lady come in and she's like, you missed me. So, long story, I started figuring out, well, I think it was last week, 8 funerals, okay? My guys are so respective, if we're out mowing or weed whacking, they know those funeral times and they keep watching, they go to another section. They get out of the way to the no noise, and they watch whoever's running it, and if we're doing this, they're done. We don't want any noise going on, we don't want them hearing any mowers, nothing. So we bang forward one day. So we're in routine, we start out the new section, head this way usually. Well, where we're at, they're over here. What happened, the lady, it wasn't done on the day she was used to it being done. We came back the next
Oh,
day
yeah.
to do it. So we have to skip now and then because of funerals, and that may be what you
Could be.
saw. My weed whackers, everything, they
Yeah.
all know it's up on a dry erase board, they know exactly what's going on, and the whole idea is to make that as perfect as we can make it. So they'll shift and get out of the way so there's no noise and different stuff. Even to the point, the park department, Holsclaw, calls me before he does stuff in the back if we have a funeral close. He wants to make sure there's none.
Sure.
Yeah, so the whole city is very respectful
Yeah,
of that. But
absolutely.
yeah, please give
Well, I
them
will.
light. Yeah, they're welcome to call me, whatever. It's
Yeah.
okay. and I'll be
Like I
glad to
said, it
take
was a
care of
question, it was certainly no complaint, they just
Yeah.
wanted to, I said, okay, I'll get an answer for you. So,
Yep. And that's the thing. If it shows up, please give me a call. We will.
absolutely.
We will.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I don't, yeah, even the hills are done right now, so.
I was gonna say, because I was just around the hills yesterday.
Yeah,
I went
well-
down and sat at the lake, and they look fine. 'Cause
My young IU student at the Southport, he's gonna be a, what do you call it, floor monitor now. He's a great kid. I mean, very intelligent kid. He has to go back early. And we need it done. I said, hey, before he leaves, and this last week we gotta do hills. And he goes, you don't really have to. But they all gang, that's the hardest thing to do, but they all
Yes.
gang on it because it got done
Yeah.
quick. Because it's all done by weed whackers. We
Yeah.
can't mow it. Yeah. So I wanted to make, that was his
It
gift.
looked fine, though.
Yeah, that's why I say I was shocked,
Yeah,
but
that's-
who knows?
Yeah,
There's
I'll
several
have to check it
reasons,
out.
but my door's always open.
I know.
I want to take care of it any way we can. so.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it.
Anything else for me? No? You guys are too easy. That's nice. Sorry if I talk too fast. I kind of do. I don't want to.
It's July. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's July,
It's July.
other than storms.
But if you looked at it, just so you know, if you looked at the funerals, men to women, gentlemen, we lost. It was like
Really?
17 to something, so.
That's unusual.
Yeah, it scared 17 to 9, yeah, so ladies won this week. And so I always look at that 60 to 69 area to see how many.
Yeah.
We still were leading the pack, yeah.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a good thing.
I had that one week where I officiated 3 funerals right in a row, and they were all basically from out of town.
Yeah,
Most of them.
That week, that was last week.
And every one of,
Yeah.
every one of them came up and just said, they were just very, they said, we just don't understand a cemetery like this. They said, we don't see, and one guy was a funeral director, he was from,
Remember what time?
Did you do the Noblesville one?
no, I did the guy from, was it Hartford City?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just like blown away. He says, I haven't seen a cemetery like this.
See, to gauge what we do is hard.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it
'Cause
is,
we're not
it
at the
is.
best time in the world with anybody. So
Yeah.
we expect maybe a little sadness and upsetness and whatever. That's
Yeah.
just part of our job. We understand that. I was dealing, it was an ash funeral from a funeral director in Noblesville. He's never been here. And how do I say it? Not the happiest man in the world, we'll put it that way. And we're going through and he goes, well, I'll bring a table this. I said, sir, you don't need to bring it. Everything will be set. Whether you're military, blah, 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 and going through this. He goes, no, okay, we'll see. So I just blew it off. So he came in, brought me the money, because I said, come to the office, I'll escort you out there. You know, it was a gravesite. So he did, still wasn't real happy, whatever. I take him out at park, I come to her so I can help. He opens his door, and this is his first word. Wow. I said, I'm sorry, sir. Wow. He goes, yeah, wow. I said, I'm sorry, I don't understand. He goes, I've been in 100 cemeteries. None look like this. Thank you, and I'll
Yeah.
pass it on. That's
Yeah.
volumes for my guys. It really
Sure.
is, and that's what we want. Because they work so hard to do that, and that's the only thing we can do. I mean, we can't give them anything else but that. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, I think it was 8 or 9 that week,
Yeah.
and 4 of them were out of town.
Mhm.
Well, I just think you deserve a pat on the back.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You do.
and I pass it on.
Yeah.
I got
100%.
Street. I can't remember he's one of Dustin's upper. No, I sent you. You got an email from Kelly Lackey, I believe. He sent it forward. He was the street department. They had Lynn down. Grappler picked it up. They cut some aside. And Kelly wasn't mad. Just said, "Hey, you tore it up. You know, hey, I appreciate all you do. Could you look into it?" They busted tail, got some grass out there or sod or whatever, dirt filled up, and then he went on and bragged about the cemetery, which was very nice. And he sent that, and I've got it printed off yet, and I'm gonna take it to guys. Anytime I get something, it goes to the guys.
Sure.
It just does, because I can't do it by myself. They're a bunch of good workers. I think we have a lot of good workers in town, so.
No.
Absolutely.
We're so blessed and fortunate in this community in many different ways, but Oakwood is definitely a reflection of
Yeah.
that. It really is.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I'm telling you, I go back west to my original hometown and stuff does not look like this. It just doesn't. So it's sad, and it's sad to see it happen too, but
Right.
it's just, we're very blessed here, very fortunate, so.
And that's when Jeff and I'll get together here sometime and we'll start talking about money, and that'll be, every mayor's been up to them, we'll do scenarios of different stuff. No, and that's not bad, but what I'm saying is, I had a guy come to me the other day, and it just kind of shell-shocked me a little bit, and he was asking foundations, and I thought, here we go, because, you know, some people's like, oh, they're just real expensive. And he said, can I ask how much you charge? And I explained this on the base size, and, you know, there's multiple pricing, but you just pay for the base, and we put a foot extra, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, well, I said, what are you asking? He goes, well, we have a stone, we just had a foundation poured from out of town. And he said, my family member thought it was cheap, and he goes, I thought it was a little big. And I said, well, how big was the base? He said, 36. I said, that'll run you around 250, maybe 300. He just snickered. I said, can I ask? $1,400 for the foundation. We don't even have one on our table at $1,400. Now, are we too cheap? Don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how you decide that. I mean,
Well,
it's-
he's gonna see the numbers, you
Yeah.
know? And I'll tell you right
For
now,
what?
we're not losing money.
Yeah.
right now, currently. I watch it constantly. Remember, I was a contractor. I watch it constantly, and I just did a thing of material, labor, I mean, down to everybody working to pour, blah, 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 and we're doing okay. But I don't know, that's just something like we have to look at and be, and see with cremations, that's something I can see going up some, not because of hard work, but of time frame. It's getting to where they go longer and longer, and my guys are staying there longer, you know, and stuff, and I want to be very respectful, because nobody follows the 15-minute committal anymore. So, and with things moving, that may be an option too. So we'll go, I mean, like I say, well, this isn't anything we're gonna jump at, but it's just something I've started in my million things I'm trying to get done, and I'll contact Jeff and we'll get hold of him, we'll talk about it sometime. It's not like immediate,
You're in
we're
trouble,
fine.
Jeff.
We're fine.
Are you seeing more you and I have talked about this, but are you seeing more requests for Sunday?
Sunday?
Chloride burial?
No, that was
Okay.
brought up to us in the meeting, when we sat down, help me, Jurgen Voss, Mr. Conderas, as far as for the wage and how we could generate more money is how it was looking, and that was brought up. That and working past 4. And they just said, they just throwing stuff at me, and I said, I'd be glad to do some numbers for you, but you're gonna lose. I mean, because now you're talking overtime.
Yeah.
And extra stuff, and it's not gonna be worth it unless you wanna raise them up quite a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking ash funeral, it's $250, non-resident. That's it. If they ever have like $250 for them to stand up there. Now, what's really weird is, and I have one Saturday or last Saturday, they paid $250, they paid $350 for Saturday, and they wanted to do up to $230, it was another $350, and didn't blink an eye. And I'm like, and this is how we do. Why don't you come out Thursday or Friday, stand there with me, let's bury your loved one. You come out Saturday, bring the family, it's a park. None of my guys have to be there, there's no extra charge. Some will do it, some won't.
No.
So it's just time. Full body's the same thing. It's not 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking 2 to 3 hours by the time we get done filming. And so the 2:30 deadline, they have to be in before they pay extra. So if they get there 2:20, it's still possible to be overtime. Just stuff to look at that we will look at. I just want to be a good steward to the taxpayers that are paying most of my bill to see where we have to be, because it's fair to them. Any funeral home out of town that come in just shake their head.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're dealing with municipality cemeteries or private. Private, we would have to be so much higher to make that budget that we have. But there's no way, at the prices we have, we can come close. My budgets, I believe we had was like, proposal was 890 something, and we're gonna bring in maybe 250, 275. So it's a bunch of taxpayer money that we have to be careful with. That's the way I look at it, so. Just things to think about. I wanna get in your head, and we'll talk about it more as we move forward and do some stuff. It's just something that's on my radar, and with things changing, and now I gotta develop more land because the cremations are more. The nice thing about it is we allow 4 cremations on a full body lot, okay? And we're seeing more and more, hey, I wanna be on grandma and grandpa. Perfect. But the numbers are showing that people are still buying cremation lots and using niches, and we're gonna be running out, and all of a sudden go, and you're gonna have to give up full body lots, and I don't wanna do that.
Yeah.
So we're just looking for things and stuff, trying to stay ahead of the game. But
Okay.
anything else?
Anything else?
Not for me.
All right. Al,
Thank you.
thank you, everyone, today. Our meeting,
September the 5th.
September 5th.
December 5th, and that will be like 10 days from, so,
The
Oh,
walk.
yes.
yes, so,
Yes.
yeah. Can't believe we're saying September,
I
so,
know, it's
wow,
crazy,
holy cow.
isn't it?
All right, meeting's adjourned so we can enjoy until September 5th.
Well, it'll be here in the
Wow,
blink of an
this
eye.
year is just flying. Wow,
Isn't that crazy?
hard to believe, they're almost back in school,
Oh, I
which I don't
bet.
have kids anymore in school, but it's still hard to believe.